Hello, welcome to Mandala Painting, Relaxation and Harmony. My name is Nanette and I will be guiding you through the painting process with acrylic paints and how to make one of these lovely mandalas. To create this mandala, I will show you all the tools and supplies that we need to make this particular mandala. To begin the process of painting your mandala with acrylic paint, I like to use a stencil, and most of the items I buy are from Amazon. You can buy all your items there except for maybe some higher quality paints that you can get at a local Hobby Lobby store, art supplies store, something like that, where you can get some good quality paint. Here I have a 14 by 14 canvas that's already been prepped and everything, so it's ready for paint. It has a wooden board on the opposite side so that you can also frame it or hang it, whatever you like. We will be using graphite powder to fill in the stencils as a guide for us to paint over. So what you need to do is get some graphite powder. They sell it on Amazon. It has many uses, so all you need to know is that it needs to be a powder form of graphite, which is like what is in a pencil lead. It's graphite. Also, you need some items to scoop a little bit of the graphite powder into the dish, and then we will be using, I like to use a cosmetic brush. This is a blush brush, and you can just gently dip the brush into the graphite powder. You try to dab it in there so you get it really nicely. Before we start with the powder graphite on the stencil, you want to place the stencil on the canvas, and then you're going to use masking tape to secure some of the edges so that the stencil doesn't move around. Then I like to take the graphite powder that we have on the brush and dab it on a piece of paper. As you can see, it's getting some of the graphite on the piece of paper before you put it on the stencil. To start the stenciling process, after you load your brush with the graphite powder, you kind of shake it off some of the excess and get it off the brush. Then you're going to dab on a piece of paper, scratch piece of paper, until you get a gray look, so you get some of the very dark pieces of graphite off. So now we've got the stencil attached to the canvas, and you're going to take the makeup brush and you're going to just brush over the stencil. You're going to kind of go back and forth until you start seeing that it's turning a soft gray underneath. So I'm just going to keep doing this until we get all of the stencil a soft gray underneath. Once the stencil has a soft gray color underneath, as you can see, it's got a soft gray all throughout. You're going to have it on your fingers, but that's okay. And then we're going to take the tape off and the stencil. And you have the graphite powder transferred onto your canvas. At this stage, you're going to want to use a fixative to secure the graphite that you just stenciled onto your canvas, because at this stage it gets all over a lot of things, your fingers, it gets all over the canvas. So what you want to use is, I like to use Spectrafix. It's called the Degas fixative. Now they have a couple different types of fixatives, but this one is made for using underneath paintings. This is what the formula that the old painters used to use, so they could sketch out the painting that they'd like to use for portraits or whatever their painting is, and then they use a fixative like this, and you spray it on, and then you won't smudge the stenciling that you did, and you can paint right on top of it. Also, because the graphite is darker, some of the paint will look muddy because you can see the base underneath is a dark color opposed to a light color. And where the light is, the colors will be more vibrant. But if you use a couple coats, that could help it, but it'll still look kind of dark with that dark graphite being raw on the canvas. So you definitely want to use this fixative.